Hey guys, it's Victoria and welcome back to FemmeHead. Check to make sure the baby didn't wake up. So today I'm going to try to film 2 videos for you guys, and I'm not quite sure when they're going to go up, but these are my first videos that I've sat down to try to film since Theo has arrived. You can kind of maybe see him down here. We're going to do a meet my baby video, birth story video. Today I want to talk about postpartum essentials. So he turned 2 weeks today. What? So I want to talk about what are the things that have got me through this postpartum period. I'm definitely still in postpartum, obviously, but the rough part of postpartum has kind of passed. I still have the emotional side of it all. I definitely can tell that I am hormonally emotional. It's definitely been a transition into life as a mother. There are certain times where I'm emotional, where I'm like, how do people do this? I made padsicles. They're in my freezer still. I used 2 or 3 of them because my postpartum vagina station's upstairs, and so I never would be oh yeah, let me go down and get a padsicle. I haven't really used my padsicles, so I'm glad I only made, was it 10? But yeah, I mean, I'm still healing down there, so I'm gonna try to use them up. Obviously I don't want them just to go to waste, but instead of padsicles, I highly recommend Tucks, the medicated witch hazel pads. Those were my saving grace. I love those things because you don't have to refrigerate them, and they just stay cool in their little container for some reason. And so I put down a pad, and then I put down 3 little Tucks pads kind of on top of each other. And I'll link stuff down below, and I'll kind of put it on the screen. I'm not going to go and try to collect everything around my house because we don't have time for that. They were just so cooling on my healing vagina. Anything to do with a vaginal birth, just get some Tucks pads. And I almost was like, man, I need more, but I've still got a little bit left in the one container I got from Target, and then I got sent home one from the hospital. Heavenly on your vagina. This is in no particular order. I literally wrote this in the middle of the night, probably a week ago, as he was breastfeeding. I would kept notes on my phone. So Colace, a stool softener. I wasn't sure what to think about this, and I was like, oh, they'll probably give me something in the hospital. I don't know what I want to take. And I wasn't super concerned about that first poop, to be TMI, frankly. They give you ibuprofen and Colace in the hospital, or at least they did for me. It was the first or second day I was home, so I think he was 4 days old, somewhere around there, that I had my first postpartum poop. And I was nervous, to be honest, but I was also I'm not gonna make a big deal out of it, because then I will not go to the bathroom and I'll make myself constipated and miserable because it will just spin out of control in my head. So just take your stool softener. It really was not bad at all. People said, oh my god, that first poop postpartum was worse than childbirth. It's not. Everyone's different, obviously, but for me it wasn't. So don't fear that poop. Just take your stool softener. And I think I took it the first week, and now I'm off it. Everything's going smoothly. Ibuprofen, I'm still taking. They started giving it to me in the hospital. I'm slowly weaning myself off of it, but there's definitely times where it's your vagina just feels really heavy and sore, and there's times I literally will walk around and hold my vagina up because it's so sore. But it's gotten a lot better. But especially that first week, take your ibuprofen or take whatever pain medication you want to take that is safe for everything. But yeah, that was definitely a must-have. The next one is the Peri bottle. This was great. It took me a while to be able to pee again. First time after he came that they're okay, let's go into the bathroom and we're gonna make you pee. That it was not connecting in my body. And so she had to press on my stomach or my uterus to help me pee. The Peri bottle thing that they give you, obviously everyone says take that home. Take it home. It's great. You don't want to be wiping your nether regions after giving birth. You need to be very delicate, so you need to spray it off to clean it. Front impact, depending on what happened, what kind of bathroom trip you took. And then, sorry, my brain is literally all over the place. Life's so good, but my brain. And at first I filled it up with warm water. When you're first healing in your home, you don't always have a ton of time to get to the bathroom. I peed my pants at least 2, if not 3 times after getting home, to be completely honest. Thankfully I had a big old pad in, so just changed that out. Eventually just filled it up with cold water, and it's much more, it's more of a shock, but the cooling is almost better than the heat. So I started with warm water, switched to cold water. Snacks, oh my gosh, snacks. Easy foods to eat. People always say that. We've had so many people bring us food and it's glorious. Speaking of which, let me eat a bite, or else I'm not gonna get lunch. Sometimes you forget to eat, to be honest. I have these like protein bars on my nightstand. I always like in the middle of the night, I'm like, man, I'm hungry. So I just have one of those bars and it is enough to get me through. You should always have a water container with you when you're pregnant, and especially when you're postpartum. I think it's just good for like healing, but also if you're breastfeeding, pumping, any of that, even if you're not, just hydrate yourself. You have been through a lot regardless of what kind of birth you had. Childbirth, labor, it's hard. It's traumatic on the body. I am always thirsty because I'm breastfeeding. A silicone pump. It's like the Haka, but it's called Nature Bond or something like that. I'll put it up here. But when your milk comes in, oh my God, my boobs. First of all, they were rock hard mountains. Like you could feel the ridges of like, I don't even know if it was like the milk ducts or whatever, but I was like, oh my God, Michael, feel this. Obviously his stomach is teeny tiny, and so he can't empty your breasts. Because there was so much milk, he would only eat on one side. And so that side wouldn't even be like fully feel better, but then the other side would be like pulsating because it was like, empty me, bitch. Because I didn't want to like confuse my body into having an oversupply. Twice when it was really, really hard to handle, I just put silicone pump on one breast just to release enough milk. And it was probably about an ounce to where to like take that pressure off and take that pain off. They hurt so bad. A boppy pillow. I almost didn't get a breastfeeding pillow, but I'm so happy I did. I took it to the hospital with me, which was great because especially when you're trying to figure out breastfeeding, which total champ down there, total breastfeeding champ. So I'm very grateful for that. You got to take care of your back and your shoulders, and you can't hunch over. You've got to bring your baby up to your boob. You have to have good posture or you're gonna wreak havoc on your back. So take care of your back. Prefolds as burp rags. He's laying on one right now. So I've got 3 sizes of Prefolds: newborn, small, and medium. And right now we're using the medium and the small as like burp rags, and they are great because he's kind of a spitty, pukey baby at times if he doesn't get burped adequately. And instead of having just extra burp rags, like we already have those, and we're not using them as diapers. So I don't have like a travel changing mat. I just put down a blanket and I put down a big Prefold under his butt. That's my changing station. Have your diaper changing station prepped, especially in those early days. Like he hated being uncovered. He hated being cold. So before I would go to bed, I would go and I would make sure I had all of like the diapers, wipes, everything prepped so I could just be as quick as possible, because you're still learning how to like diaper them and clean them, and you're kind of being delicate with everything, and they just hate it. So just have everything prepped and there and ready, and it makes it so much easier. Swaddles. So we're going through a little bit of a swaddle crisis at the moment because he can't figure out what he wants. During the day, he usually just naps next to me on the couch. I've got a little blanket to keep him kind of like in, and then I put a light blanket over him, and he sleeps like this, and he's like this. He loves his hands by his face. When they're first born in the hospital, they swaddle him like their arms down, and he was fine when he was first born, but then he was like, I need my hands by my face. So then I started swaddling him with his hands by his face, and he loved that because then he could like self-soothe, and he just liked his hands by his face. But now he doesn't like being confined, but also at night for some reason, he's also like a gassy baby. If he gets his arms out, he moves them all around and he can't settle himself down. So it's like this battle between like, do I swaddle your arms in? Do I swaddle them out? And it's kind of like, it depends on like that particular moment, which one is better, and trying to figure that out when it's 4 o'clock in the morning is really hard. I wrote sleep on here. Obviously sleep is important, Victoria, I don't know. I'm surprised with how well I'm doing with really good sleeper at night. He definitely, wakes up. He goes a max of like, I think the longest he's gone is like 3.5 or 3 hours and 45 minutes between feedings, but it's usually like 2 to 3. They always say sleep when baby sleeps, but like I want to get stuff done in life, and so I'm not gonna like sleep every time he's sleeping. But if he was like really difficult at night and I wasn't getting much sleep at all during the night, I would definitely take more naps during the day. Nighttime for him, I'm trying to make like 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. and the daytime is 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. It's bright, I'm noisy, like I watch stuff, I talk, and at night we try to be quiet and dark and that sort of thing. Sometimes I will go to bed like around 7 p.m. It's not like on 7 p.m. like that around 7 p.m. when I put him in bed, whether it's 7 or 8. I usually go to bed by like 8:30, because by the time you fall asleep, it takes you time to fall asleep because you're listening to them to make sure they're okay. By the time it's all said and done with like feeding during the night, changing their diaper, feeding them, burping them, settling them enough to where they're drowsy to put them back down. It can take an hour. It can take 45 minutes, an hour, and then sometimes, every now and then, he'll be up for like 2 hours, and you're like, child, you need to go to sleep. Just make sure you're being conscious of how much sleep you're getting and take a nap during the day if you need to. Find your own routine. This is a good one. After babies are born, they lose weight. It's normal. And then they want you to be back up to birth weight by 10 days or 2 weeks or whatever. So they're like, you need to wake them up every 2 hours, every 3 hours. And they were really chill with me, and they're like every 2 to 3. And so now I just let them sleep. Find your own routine with breastfeeding and sleep and stuff. And like, obviously there's recommended routines and that sort of stuff. And you know, getting into like a scheduled routine is very important for newborns because they're kind of flip-flop when they come out. Find your own path and don't stress about trying to be like, oh my God, I need to wake them up every 2 hours, unless they're like, have lost a lot of weight, or there's plenty of reasons. But anyways, it's an app to track feedings and diapers because they ask you about that. Your pediatrician and everyone asks you about that. So I got this the day I left the hospital. Glow baby, how long ago he ate. So he ate an hour and 15 minutes ago. We changed his diaper 3 hours ago. A good pair of leggings. I've been wearing these Lululemon aligned leggings before pregnancy, throughout pregnancy, and now that I'm postpartum. You give birth, your stomach is like shrinking down, but it's still like squishy. And when I was in the hospital, I was wearing these sweatpants that like cut into my stomach, and I was like worried about like getting like a weird divot. I don't know. Anyway, so it's nice to just have something that's tight throughout your midsection to kind of just like hold everything in. And some people get like the maternity band belt sort of things, but I didn't want to spend $80, so just I wear leggings. A sleep mask, those are great because sometimes, most of the time at night, you get them on and they're on there for like 10, 15, 20 minutes. You're just gonna sit there. I put my sleep mask on, I have him on my bobby pill, he's well supported, and I close my eyes. I don't go completely asleep, but it's nice to just close your eyes. And then having some sort of like hair tie in the middle of the night so you can know which boob you need to feed him on. And so I'll just switch this between my arms. It's easier than like, oh my gosh, sorry buddy, I need to look at the app real quick to see which boob you're on. I need to feed him on this boob sometimes. And some people put clips on their bras and that sort of stuff, but hair ties, super simple. I had one more and I can't remember it. I'll insert it here or down below if I can remember it. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. Make sure you're getting enough sleep, eating enough, drinking enough fluids. So don't forget about yourself because everyone's so excited about the baby, but you have to make sure you're in a good place. Those are my postpartum essentials. I'm gonna shovel some food in, drink some coffee. And hopefully this video turns out and it's not just too chaotic because I have a feeling it could be chaotic. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.